Hey everyone, welcome back to my last video of 2024, and boy is this a video that you do not want to miss. I am going to be delving into a recap of what I believe is going on in regards to the child that we are being told is Lily, the alleged daughter of Harry and Meghan. If you haven't seen my video around the child that we are being told is Archie, go across and watch that. If you haven't seen it, scroll to the end of this video. The link, the box will be there so you can click on that and watch that first. So without further ado, grab your cuppa and let's get into it. So like I've said, if you fast forwarded that bit and got to this bit, if you haven't seen my video in regards to the child that we are being told is Archie, go straight to the end of this video and click on the box that showcases the child that we are being told is Archie. Watch that first, then come back and watch this one because it does follow on. So to kind of go into how I feel or what I feel is going on with regards to Lily, I'm going to slightly go to the end of what is kind of going on with regards to Archie. Now, before Megxit, one of the things that I have said in previous videos is that we were seeing a child, a real child. These were not Photoshop photographs, weird, blurry, sepia, black and white, back of the head, side view. We were seeing a real child. Now, I know that a lot of people have given various thoughts and opinions on this particular child. Some people have said it's a prop. Some people have said it's one of the children of a relative. It's an actor, etc. I completely understand that. Now, there is every chance, of course, that this child could be an actor that they brought in. But given that this was a royal tour, given the fact that the royal family were also would have been part of this, because these things don't just happen, they have to be organised, orchestrated, things put in place meticulously. So we have the fact that we did not see anything surrounding the birth of Archie, right? So we now have that. We have the fact that we were seeing a child that was being showcased prior to Megxit. Since then, we have not seen that child in a real setting anywhere. We have seen weird photographs, weird videos, etc. So you have to firstly ask yourself, why was it okay to show the child, given that they're talking about privacy, etc. Now, bearing in mind how I believe a narcissist will work. A narcissist will, especially when the child is young, is an extension of who they are. Unless the child isn't theirs, in which case they will dislike the child. Now, I was told through various sources that the child that was Archie obviously was Harry's. I have gone into that in that previous video. So I believe that the child that we saw was the child that is the one we're being led to believe is Archie. Now, I'm not saying that I even think that's his real name. Now, I was also told that when they went to South Africa, that the real mother went with them. Now, something happened on that tour that then led to Megxit. And so obviously they leave. And if you want me to do a video around Megxit where I kind of talk about that, then let me know and I will do a recap on Megxit and what I believe really happened. Now, you've also got to bear in mind a timeline. Now, Meghan is of an older age, so it's harder to get pregnant. So we've had the fact that she's got pregnant very quickly. This wedding and this, to be fair, this relationship feels very rushed. And the wedding also, it also explain the ill-fitting wedding dress. So then we have Megxit that's happened, and the fact that she went first, she went to Canada, and then we had the Sandringham Summit. Then she did the weird fake pap walk with a doll, which was very obvious. And I think that was to show the royal family that, you know what, I could expose you if I wanted to. And then all of a sudden, Harry then is going across to Canada to be with her. And I think that this was probably some kind of arrangement that was going to be made, whereas like, okay, you need to leave because you cannot keep this lie up here. There's just no way, especially when we see the royal children coming out and about all the time. There's no way that they could, especially if the mum has said, I don't want Meghan any, because what I have heard was Meghan was told she's not to have anything to do with this child. So now Meghan is in a situation where she has pulled off, well, her and Harry, in a sense, have pulled off the con of the century. They're over in Canada, and then they're sort of making their way to Tyler Perry's mansion around this time as well. So we obviously have then the worldwide bug that happened, and I don't think they planned on that. That scuppered a lot of the things that they were probably planning to do when they were booted out, which is why they're angry, right? So again, I will get into that. So when you have a narcissist who has a child that's not theirs, they will be very, very jealous of this child. Now, so I truly believe that Archie being Harry's, she would be very jealous of this particular boy. Now, again, I understand that people have said there are no children, but like I have said, a narcissist isn't maternal or paternal even. So for Meghan to sort of wake up one morning and go, do you know what, I want children, but not only do I want children, I want to lie about those children. I want to pretend to have children. I'm going to pretend to go with a surrogate. I'm going to pretend all of those things. She'll be the first narcissist in the history of ever to kind of to do something like that. And especially given how much of a public persona she's got. There's too many variables, too many things that can go wrong. And a narcissist likes things to be controlled. So I don't believe for any second that there are no children. I do believe, as I've said, there is a boy, and I do believe the boy is Harry's, but this would create a jealousy within Meghan, because now Harry has not only got a child, he's got a child with another woman. Now, albeit it doesn't matter that Harry doesn't have a relationship with this woman and it's probably very estranged, that doesn't matter, because in Meghan's mind, this child is now in the way that she would view this in the line of succession, and this child isn't hers. So she'll be very, very jealous of that. Plus the fact, as I've said, when you come to a narcissist, she would, if Archie was hers, she would be shoving Archie in our faces. This child would be presented to overshadow the Wales children. Anytime they come out, it would be, oh, look at, this is my child. And the child is an extension of them. Now, I have heard that people say, well, surely, what if the child has got a lazy eye? Or what if the child is this? To be fair, a narcissist would not keep a child hidden. There are ways to create, I'm not being funny, when they've doctored photographs and videos, etc., they could do exactly the same thing in correcting the eye of the boy, say. And the first chance she got of him having an operation, she would absolutely have done that, because it's all about persona. But there is no chance in ever the first child, that if this officially was her child, that she would keep this child hidden. Not only that, we would have her merching toys, we would have her merching clothing lines, we would have her merching how she lost her pregnancy weight. It would be all about her, what an amazing mother she is. That is why a young child is an extension of them. We haven't seen that within when they alleged Archie was theirs. So then we have the fact that she's now got this situation where they have pulled off a con. Let's be honest, they have. In their mind, they have duped the world, albeit that they have seen probably a lot of the social media posts, but the mainstream media are not talking about it, which is the most important thing, because no one in the major leagues, in a sense, has called them out and called them a liar about this child. The royal family, and I know that some people don't like to hear it, but the royal family, whether they were in on it in the beginning, whether they were in on it at some point or other, they have to know. To put a child in the line of succession, there's no way that they've just accepted Harry and Meghan hiding a child away. Because first and foremost, they accepted the fact there was no royal doctors in the history of ever. This has never happened. Their birth certificates, I think, are sealed or something along those lines. The Queen would have wanted to at least be around at this time, to witness the birth. So they would have had to have lied about that. All these factors involved, there's too many spinning plates. And again, this is not something a narcissist would be okay with, because they want it controlled. There are too many things that can go wrong. It's too messy. So what does track is what I've said in the previous video. And like I say, go and watch that and you will kind of hear what I've said about that. So then we've got a situation, like I've said, where she's kind of going, well, we've pulled off this con. I want a child that's mine. You've got Archie. I now want a child. I want a girl. I want a child of my own, because of this jealousy that she would have with Archie. She would not want Archie being front and center, because again, that would take the limelight away from her, because this child isn't hers. There is no extension there, because she cannot use this child because the child isn't with them. So if the child was living with them, then she still probably would reel this child out. But it explains why when we saw Duck Duck Rabbit, the child was in a baby grow and with a full nappy. Again, this child would be donned in designer gear. There was absolutely no way that this would have happened. And the only reason it did is because this child is Harry's and not hers, and she doesn't care about this child. She doesn't love this child. She doesn't want anything to do with this child, but she's just trying to go along with the lie. So they're over in America, and I think what then happened was then they decided to either go with an adoption or go with a surrogate over in America. The laws are very different. And so I think this is what was happening. I think Harry then went to his grandmother at the time and said, we would like to have a child. They either lied about the pregnancy at that point and said, Megan's pregnant, we're going to have a daughter, and we'd like to name the daughter after you. Now, this would have been, in my opinion, Mary, because the late Queen's name has Mary in it. So I think that they wouldn't have taken Elizabeth, because Charlotte had Elizabeth. So I don't think they would have wanted to, more certainly Meghan. Harry might have been a little bit more mindful and thought, well, Charlotte's already got this name, so we're not going to take that name. In all fairness, Meghan particularly wouldn't have cared, but she definitely wouldn't have wanted her daughter to have the same name as Charlotte, given that Charlotte is first. So I think that that's when they come up with the, Harry going to his and saying, we'll have Mary. The Queen said, absolutely, that's delightful. Mary will be lovely. And so this child was going to be called Diana Mary, or Mary Diana, I forget, because it's on the domain name. And I'll put that up here to show you. Just as I'm reading this, I forget. So this was around the certain time frame which tracks, in my opinion. Now, I was also then given information, which I put in a video way back when, that something went wrong. There was a discrepancy with the money. There was problems with the relationship with Meghan and the birth mother. And so what happened was there was such a breakdown in the relationship that the mother then decided to go with somebody else. And there is a Mary Diana, or Diana Mary, born of the same similar time to when Lily was allegedly born. And so this scuppered. Now, bearing in mind, around this time, we've got Meghan doing Oprah. We've got Meghan seen sort of out and about, but not a lot as much as she was over here. And I think that was because in the UK, the media had an embargo, or they were, in a sense, told to say nothing. And this is why a lot of the reasoning why I believe the royal family had to know, because Meghan and Harry themselves do not have enough power to then go to the media and say, we want you to say nothing. This has to go down channels. So at some point, even if it's not in the beginning, even though I do believe perhaps it might have been, I think they were put in an untenable situation. I think they had to look after the real mother. And so they then created a situation where the UK media could not talk about it and could not. And that's why, like I said, we were getting the moon bump flashes. She was playing and toying with the media. That's why even with the moon bump she was wearing, she wasn't being really careful. She didn't care, because in her sadistic way, if it was exposed, she could come out being the ultimate victim to get back at Harry. So then we have the fact that in America, when she was pregnant, when she was allegedly pregnant the second time, we hardly saw her. Now, we saw her in a controlled environment in Oprah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we really very rarely saw her. And why? Because the American tabloids are very, very different. They will hound, they will photograph, and possibly get her in an unflattering light, which could expose the truth, which is she's faking another pregnancy. So that's why we didn't see her. In Oprah, again, we had this very strange where 1 minute she's looking very puffy. And again, I think she learned from the previous when people said, but Meghan did put on weight. If you look at the timeline, she put on weight right at the end. There was no weight gain prior. And then she sort of stayed with the weight gain afterwards. I think what she was doing was she was watching social media. She started to see a collective of people saying, she's not gaining any baby weight. There's no weight on her boobs. There's no weight on here, there, and whatever. And so rather than thinking, well, not every woman does that, or she then went full into, okay, research mode of, okay, how do I create a fake pregnancy, say for a TV role? There are ways and means that women can create instant weight gain very quickly. And she would know, she would have people in the business that could help her. So she would have the means to do that. So I think that she learned from the first one. And so that's why in the second one, she created herself to gain weight. But if you look at when she's in the Oprah video, in the interview, there's just something about the way that she walks, the way she holds herself. It's weird. But then you also then have her in the chicken coop, which is supposedly around the same time, even if you're looking at, say, weeks apart, that she looks huge. And then she bends down in the chicken coop where she's literally bending down again. And she's got this huge bump, which comes right under her, like her breastplate. And also in a chicken coop, which is dangerous for a fetus. So all these things that she was doing didn't, again, track. But that's really all we saw. We didn't see her much sort of out and about anywhere else. So then all of a sudden, we then have the domain name changing and Diana. We then have a Diana, a Lilibet Diana. So what I think happened here was that the birth mother, or the one who was arranging the adoption, etc., had an altercation with Meghan, had a problem with her. There was potential money problems, and so she changed her mind and she went with the another couple, and they kept the name Diana Mary. So now we have a situation where Meghan's like, okay, I have just lied to the world. I have now, in a sense, stated that I'm pregnant with a girl, so I've got to find a girl. And like she did with Archie, I think she used her friend who was friends with her at the time, and it's this person. And I put this out. This isn't just a new thing for me. When I was on Twitter years ago, I put this out, and I wish I'd kept the tweets, but when I deactivated my account, when all the trolling and bullying was going on, I didn't keep the tweets, but I did put out that I'd gone onto Facebook and found a picture of this particular child in a baby grow that said mummy and daddy are getting married, and this child is not Archie but looks identical to the child that we saw in the Oprah black and white video. And I also believe that this was this Bryn person on that video. It wasn't Meghan. So I think that she used how she did this, or why, or why the mum agreed to this, etc. I have no idea. But this then started the precedent, I believe, of her duping the world, because as soon as she started to get away with it, she started to realise that she could. And so I think that that's what we've had since then. I think that she has utilised photo editing. She's used her friend Miss Anne Harriman to create false edited pictures. It's interesting that he's gone very quiet since that whole thing with Catherine blew up. He has gone very, very quiet. And there has now been a microscope underneath those two. And I think that's why they're testing the waters with this picture that's come out recently. And I believe that there is no girl. I think that in Meghan's mind, she's kind of felt that she doesn't want Archie getting the limelight. So she wanted a girl. And I do believe that she was attempting to adopt a girl. So that went wrong. It didn't happen. And I was given information at the time when I put out the video that this was the case, that the mother changed her mind given that there was problems with payment and problems with Meghan. So she went with another couple. So then you have the fact that Meghan is a narcissist and she is incredibly spiteful. I also think around this time that, and I do apologize, I will just add this in here because I do apologize for the fact that I am not like looking directly at the camera. I honestly cannot tell you why, because the camera is to the left of me on my phone. I'm looking at myself, sounds narcissistic, but I'm looking at myself because my eyes are just, they automatically look at the screen. Because I almost like talk to the camera as if I'm talking to you guys. Now, when I look at the screen, because the camera's here, I am looking at how to sort this out, whether it's getting another camera, etc. So I do apologize if this is irritating to some people. I really am trying to keep my focus over here, but my eyes just automatically go back. So yeah, just sidestep there. So I do apologize. I know it's annoying for some of you, but I am looking at to correct this. Anyway, I digress. I think also around this time, her and Harry's relationship was really breaking down. Don't get me wrong, I think that they've had issues really from very early on, and I've explained about this as well. But I think that Harry, at some point, this was starting to really manifest. Whether it was Harry that was saying, you know what, he didn't really want to go ahead with this. He didn't really want a daughter with her, didn't want to adopt a daughter with her. And so when it fell through, maybe he was just like, you know what, I'm actually quite glad about this. But Meghan being spiteful, because they'd already had an agreement with, in a sense of Harry going to his grandmother and saying, can we take the name Mary? Then I think in her true spiteful fashion, she then put out a public statement. And I don't think she even involved Harry in this, because regardless of how I believe Harry is or is not, do not think he's a nice person. But there is that little part of me that does believe that he knew what Lilibet meant to his grandmother. And maybe I want to believe that he is not that vindictive, because his anger seems to be very much directed at his brother and his father. So he's never really showcased anger against his grandmother, to the point when after the Oprah interview, he was quick to put out a statement saying, you know, this isn't directed at Prince Philip, or, you know, my grandfather and my grandmother. So even though he's not intelligent clearly enough to work out that it's all under the same similar umbrella, and if you attack one, you're kind of attacking them all. But I think that I don't believe that he would intentionally take the name Lilibet, especially given his late grandmother's wishes. Meghan, however, who is a narcissist, absolutely would. And I think that this was a real, almost like in the heart moment, you know, for her. And I don't feel that Harry actually had any say in that. I think that she put out a public statement, and once that was out there, they couldn't then go, oh, sorry, we've made a mistake. And the Queen, then the late Queen and the family couldn't say anything, because then it would look petty given the circumstances. So I think that was an intentional attack against the late Queen, as in like, you know, I have got the control here. I can kind of do what I want. And because you're in the I'm never going to complain, never explain, you're not going to say anything, and I can pretty much do what I want. And I think that's exactly what she did. I think she put out this press statement to say, this is the name of our child. And of course everyone went, oh my God, that's amazing. Well, I mean, their fan base, the rest of us knew what she was doing and thought it was abhorrent, but that's what she did. And so now, whenever you Google, because I've done it multiple times, whenever you Google the name Lilibet, up pops this girl. Doesn't the late Queen doesn't pop up, which she would have done before, because it was such a kind of it's not like a common name. It's like so she's monopolized now. So anytime Lilibet is Googled, up pops her daughter. Her alleged daughter becomes the most popular. And so this is why she has taken Lilibet, Diana, the two most significant female role models, in a sense of, you know, this sort of timeline is Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth, the Lilibet name, and she took them. So that for me is very on track with a narcissist. Now we have a situation though where she hasn't got a child. And so this is why I believe that she has utilised the pictures of other people's children. And again, it's plausible deniability, because not once have they put out a picture of the children where they've actually said, these are our children. This is Lilibet. I think, I might be wrong, but this is Lily and this is Archie. Now, the media, whenever they've seen a picture, like when it's the July the 4th parade and things like that, have immediately jumped to, this is Lily or this is Archie. And so again, when this blows up, if it ever does, they can go, but we never said that. You guys did. And even though, of course, that's ridiculous, but in a sense, it's kind of true. So I think that's what she's doing. They're constantly playing games with the public, with the media. And that's why we never see them. Now, in this day and age, come on, with everyone that has a phone, with everyone that has drones, etc., why has there been no footage of these two children outside in a normal setting? Other than the only time we've ever seen anything is when it's in a controlled way that they have manipulated. Now, I understand that people have said, yes, but Archie looks like Meghan. Photos and videos can be edited to such a degree that it looks very lifelike. It also, if you look at a young Harry, there is a similarity between Harry and this and the baby that we are being told is Archie, even the eyes. And I think that's why I do believe this child is Harry's. Now, when you look at Meghan, a young Meghan, again, when we have photographs, then I think there's an overlay, there's an editing overlay. And I showed this in another video where I morphed Harry and a baby Meghans sort of together, and they looked like the version of Archie that we're seeing. So I think that's what's happened. Plus the fact I also found, which I will put up here, a video or a photograph of a child actor that looks very much identical. If you look at these two photographs, they look identical to each other. One of them is the child we're being led to believe is Archie. The other one isn't. Their photos are heavily edited. The Christmas card photograph, I think the first one where you see this one, which the baby's crawling, that was so heavily edited. This child was the two people in the background that we are being shown as Harry and Meghan. It's not them. They were overlaid over the top. And I run that through a software, and if I can find, because I did put this out at the time, but then it was a long time ago, so I might have deleted the photograph. If I can find it, I'll put it up. But that's what they've been doing. And I know that some people have said that Stacey Schroeder, whatever her name is, her daughter looks very, very identical. So there is every chance that it's not a coincidence that the people that we are seeing as potentially being used by Meghan as their children, they're friends with her, or they were friends with her. Now, at some point, I think that if it was Stacey or whether it was August or whoever, at some point that stopped. I think that after the situation with Catherine, and I think that's why it was done. I think when Catherine put that photograph out, I think that they know that that's what they're doing. So I don't think that they quite expected the backlash that happened in regards to social media and their fan base, etc. But I actually think it was done intentionally to stop them using other people's children in photographs. And I think because of that, Miss Anne Harriman has gone quiet. I think that this Bryn person, I think she was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I also think that whoever was allowing them to use the girl has also done the same thing. So that's why we have not seen any photograph of the two children since then. When that photograph, seeing a drip feed of the children, but since that photograph come out of Princess Catherine and her children, and it got and it got the backlash that it did, we have not seen any photographs or any pictures or anything of those children until the recent Christmas card one. And so what I think that was is her playing with the media again, putting the feelers out to see what would happen. But I think that what she's done is that she's taken an old photograph that she has of the child that we are being led to believe is Archie. She's probably stretched it or done something to create the child to look a little bit bigger. But they've absolutely messed up when it comes to Lily, because this child, we are being told, is 2.5, is it 2.5 years old? No, wait. She was born June 21. So sorry, 3.5 years old. So if you look at in the way that this child now looks, like in the photograph, she is almost as tall as Archie in the photograph. And then you've also got the fact that she's got long brunette hair. So she's gone from having flame red hair, which is the picture that we saw in the beginning, which is this one. Then at certain points, it's changed from flame red hair to blonde mousy hair, and then now it's changed to long brunette hair. And she's wearing very similar clothing to the clothing that she apparently doesn't want her children dressed in. But again, no face, back of the head again. And it's done in such poor quality that when you zoom in, which is intentional, you get a grainy photograph, which is what we had when we had the July the 4th parade, one where Harry was carrying an alleged Lily. Again, grainy photograph. Now, where are the PAP shots? So I'm sorry, but PAPs use the most expensive zoom lenses and cameras to the point where we have seen crystal clear images of celebrities, whoever, just from miles away, but crystal clear. So you're telling me that whenever they have allegedly been out and about with these two children, that the only two photographs that have made it into the mainstream media have been two photographs that look like it's been taken from a phone that's from 1970 some. I mean, there weren't phones then, but you know, from one of the first phones ever invented that started taking a photograph, not from a PAP shot, and somehow that ended up in the media. So someone took a really bad grainy photograph, even though it was close up. So they were either close enough or a zoom lens was used with a very, very poor quality camera. Then that photo was then handed to the media, which was then released. Come on, are we really that naive and well, yeah, that dumb to believe that actually happened? How is it that when they're out and about at these July 4th parades, that funnily enough, no other photograph was taken, nothing was put on TikTok, nothing was put anywhere to go, oh my gosh, look, I've just seen Harry and Meghan and the children at the July the 4th parade. Where was that? That would be everywhere. There's nothing. When this photograph of Catherine's come out, this was done intentionally, and I believe to stop Harry and Meghan using other people's children and pretending to have them as their own. And that's why we haven't seen anything up until this recent Christmas card list. And I think that again is Meghan, because I think she controls all of this, because there are more and more rumours coming out that these two are not together. But as I've said, I don't believe they've been together for a long time. And Meghan, not wanting to let Harry go, is going to reel him back in. And so if she can't do it in the love bombing, she's going to do it with threats. It's going to be like, I've created this Christmas card, I've put that out, and I've now put out a photograph that's going to be scrutinised. It's so obvious. And again, if the royal family are in on this, or Harry's in on it, and there's the potential of revealing that this child is there's another mother, that there's the real child, then they're going to do everything they can to protect this, and they're going to double down, which is what I think is happening. Now, I have seen another ones that have come out, because I've been sent emails of people going, oh my gosh, have you seen these pictures of allegedly Archie and Lily, and creating this other Christmas card? Okay, so this is AI, and this is how scary this is now, because AI is becoming all of a sudden it's been around for a while, but all of a sudden it's now very much at the forefront, and I feel it's quite dangerous. So this Christmas card is AI. It actually says, if you scroll down, it says that some of their fans have created this. But that shows you how desperate their fan base is to believe the narrative that is Harry and Meghan's children, that they're now creating their own versions of this child. I have seen so many photographs that have come out that people go, oh my gosh, look at Lily, she's so gorgeous. And it's not her. It's not her. These two children are not, it's not them. And you can see that, but the way things are going, it's almost as if they can get away with this, because this is what I believe Meghan has done. They've got away with it the first time. The royal family do now know, whether they knew in the beginning because they were protecting Harry or protecting the real mother. I can see that happening. However, Meghan in her mind is like, well, we got away with it the first time, let's do it again. So this girl is not theirs, not living with them. They don't have a girl living with them. And in fact, I don't believe they have any children living with them. I think, like I say, the boy is over here. But they have been allowed to keep this ruse up. But there is absolutely no way that they can take a child to school, go out and about with a child without there being someone with a camera that's taken a photograph, and it would be on social media. It's never been. And no one kind of ever says, hang on a minute, where are the children? And like I have said, Meghan is a narcissist. If she had a girl, this girl would be an extension of her, the young child. This is what happens. If there's more than one, there is one that is an extension of the narcissist, and this child is usually spoiled. This child is has to live up to a standard of what the parent, that's the narcissist, wants. And with women, it can be a girl or a boy, depends which one they are jealous of and which one that they are able to use. She would have been very jealous of Archie because Archie is Harry's, and so she wouldn't want anything to do with him. So all of her focus would be on Lily, and she would be monopolizing Lily. She would be out and about. She would be, like, again, showing all the designer dresses that she wears. There would be pictures of her and Lily together in every way possible, and everyone going, oh my God, how amazing, how beautiful, what an amazing mother you are, Meghan, because she would feed off that. Anytime we saw pictures of Charlotte, especially because her jealousy of Charlotte is very real, then she would absolutely be bringing her child out to showcase Charlotte. The fact that Charlotte is the only girl, in a sense, of the Wales children, she would very much be using Charlotte to take away the attention from her. So the Christmas card, for example, there would be main focus would be Meghan and the girl. Archie would be in the background with Harry. And that's how she would portray this, with them going out and about for the Christmas walk, which was beautiful and lovely. And I'm sure many of you have seen the footage. Then they would have their own version. They would have their own version where they're going out with the children, going out getting a Christmas tree with the children. They would monopolize the media. But all they can do is what she's done, and that's create a weird photograph which doesn't even showcase the child. I mean, who takes a Christmas photograph? Ask yourself as a parent, anyone that's a parent or anyone that's got grandchildren or whatever it is, when you take a family photograph, do you ever, when you're showing the photograph, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's to anyone that you know, do you ever pick the photograph where you see the back of the child's head? You know, if you're putting that on your family photograph album, or you're putting that on a Christmas card to send out to relatives, would you choose the photograph that has the back of the child's head running towards, you know, so literally you see a side view of one child and the back of the other child's head? Would you actually choose that? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. So the fact that they've done that is very intentional, or her is very intentional. Firstly, because, like I said, if the daughter was real, she would be showing this child. She would be showing what the child wears, just everything about her, and how an amazing mother she is. she's not doing that either. Not how she lost her pregnancy weight. She didn't do that in either of them. And she would be merching everything, like I say. And then not only that, she would be taking the attention away from Charlotte in every which way possible. That is, more importantly, how you can tell that she's not a mother. She's not a mother to any children that are living with them. Now, I know that people have said that she's had a child previously and whatever. That doesn't matter to me, because what she's done in her past, that is when I'm looking at this and thinking, well, this is not a royal child. This is nothing to do with the points I'm trying to make. And if that is the case, then there is an innocent family, an innocent child in this. So this, what she's done in her past, in retrospect to like when she was a teen, that's not of an interest to me. It doesn't have, in my opinion, a bearing on what she's doing now. There's enough now, rather than trying to find out whether or not she had a pregnancy when she was 16, 17 or 18 or whatever it is. Now, this matters to me because I've had people say, why does this matter to you? Because these two children are in the line of succession, because they are royal children. They have taken royal titles. If they'd gone off to live a private life and they were just Archie and Lily and they were living as private citizens, then no, I wouldn't be doing these videos and I'd be finding something else to talk about. But when you are lying, and I do 100%, okay, 99.9% believe they are lying about these children, that matters to me. When I'm a British citizen, not only that, I live in Sussex, so the fact they've got these Sussex titles matters to me. The fact that there's two children in the line of succession, which in my opinion should not be there, matters to me. And the fact that the royal family, I love the royal family, but the fact that I believe that they have some knowledge of this, that bothers me. Now, I do believe that they have been put in an untenable situation. I also do believe that there is every chance that they have possibly tried to get information in regards to Lily, which is why now they never mention her. They don't wish her happy birthday. They don't talk about her. She is never referred to. And that's because I think they now know that Meghans lied. And that's why I think that photograph of Catherine was done. I think it was purposefully done to stop them from doing what they've been doing. And so I think that, the family are now very aware of what is happening. Now, taking the child out of the line of succession would then draw a huge amount of attention to that. And that's why if this was just about, say, Meghan lying, then there's every chance that they could do that. But then I think it then makes Harry culpable, it then makes them culpable, and then it opens up a Pandora's box of, well, hang on a minute, if you've been part of this lie, then what else have you been part of? What other lies have you been part of? And then it could open up the Pandora's box about Princess Diana and other things. It's like, and I think the royal family probably are looking at this going, we've been through so much, we just don't want anything else, so we're just going to let this go, because the odds are they're never going to be king and queen. So in the great scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But to people like us, it very much matters. Well, for me, most certainly, because I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, it matters. So this is what I think is going on. This is what I believe, that there is no girl. And I think there was going to be. It was an adoption or a surrogacy that went wrong. And because she come out and lied about being pregnant, then she had to still go along with it. Now, going forward, like people have said to me, well, going forward, how can they continue this? Well, let's be honest, they've continued this for 5 years. Since the birth of this boy, whomever he is, they have lied. They have continued this lie. So going forward, who knows? Now, there is every chance that Meghan could be attempting to adopt a child now. There is every chance that could be happening. And then she's trying to say, look for the right one. Because if we did start seeing a child, them out and about in real time, the chances are they'd blur the child's face anyway. So that's the irony. The fact that when they do come out, they're saying that they want privacy for their children, but there is a law in California that says that The media blur the faces of the children. So they could be coming out with children and have their faces blurred, but they're not. When they come out, or when we've seen pictures, the pictures are blurry, but not because the media have blurred their faces, because the picture's terrible. It's pixelated, it's weird. Like even in the Oprah video, again, black and white, weird. You couldn't zoom in on it because the picture become distorted. Nothing was clear, and that's intentional, because it stops then people zooming in and picking apart the children, their face, and going, oh, hang on a minute, they look like so-and-so, or this is different, or that's different. And there's so much sort of weirdness around it all, that if they did then come out with then 2 children that they've, say, adopted, people would go along with it. I mean, people like us probably wouldn't, and we'd pick it apart. But the mainstream media would be like, oh, look, oh, it's Harry, like they've done with a Christmas card. Oh, look, oh, the children. It's like it's so obvious that this is such a terrible photograph, and it was done intentionally. When you've got all the other photographs on the thing very, very clear, a close-up of Meghan hugging a child, close up, all right, be at the back of the child, very clear, not distorted, but yet the one that's a family photograph, terribly distorted, and yet not one person in the media, or say like the mainstream media, so to speak, has gone, this is a bit suspicious. What is kind of going on here? So because they do it and they get away with it, they continue. And I think that's what they'll do. They'll say they're being homeschooled. We just won't see them. And eventually it's almost like we'll forget about it. And I think that then when they divorce, what we'll probably see then is then we will see Harry either coming over here or moving to Portugal, wherever he's going. And then we'll probably see him out and about with a boy. And this boy will be his son, I believe. And Meghan will be led to believe that Meghan has stayed in California with the girl, and people will accept that. They might, critique it for a little while, but eventually it will become the norm. And it's always going to be there. I think unless somebody breaks this story as this is exposing the truth, we are never going to know. I don't think we are ever going to fully know. We can believe, and we can do these videos, and we can say, look, this is what I think is happening. And I do absolutely believe that I'm close to the truth in some way. I just feel, and I'm not saying others are not, I just feel that I am. And I think that's why my channel constantly gets shadow banned, because it's not a coincidence that my channel has just come out of a shadow ban, and look, my views have shot up. You always know when I'm in a shadow ban, because my views, like this last video was 130 something thousand views, and that's how, in a sense, my channel kind of should be. My subscribers have shot up again, where I'm almost like not far off 80,000 now, which, given that I started at 50,000, is fantastic. But when I'm in a shadow ban, you can see, because if you look at my videos prior to that, they are literally like 20, 30,000. It's not even reaching my subscribers. The amount of comments that I've seen where people have said, oh my God, I thought you disappeared. I thought you'd gone. Now, admittedly, some of that was my fault, because I tweaked around with my name on YouTube, and I think it caused a confusion. But still, it's like I say, it's not a coincidence. The unfortunate thing is the trolling has started again. So I think that they thought I disappeared and now realise that I haven't, and so they've decided to start trolling me again. But happy 2025. But yeah, so I think it's, like I say, I think it's all relative, and I don't know if that's to do with I'm saying specific wording that YouTube are picking up on, or whether there really is some kind of censorship when it comes to trying to expose the truth. Because if the royal family are somehow complicit in this, even if it's being in an untenable situation that they were forced sort of into, they're still going to want this to be quiet. They're still going to want this to be kept under wraps. They're not going to want this exposed. And I'm not saying that I can expose anything, because I can't, but I can certainly have an opinion on it. And I can certainly say this is through, you know, my personal thoughts and opinions, which I am entitled to, and I'm voicing them on a YouTube channel. I'm not saying to all of you, oh, you must believe this to be true, because I've had plenty of people in the comments going, I don't believe this. I don't believe there are any children, or I believe there is one child, not another, or I believe there are both children. They're just hiding them. It doesn't make sense for them to be hiding two children, and it doesn't make sense when you've got someone that is a narcissist. And even if you took her out of the equation, why on earth would Harry be hiding his two children? Because it just doesn't make sense. When he's going out and about and doing what he's doing, you can do things with your children and, like I say, blur their faces so people can't see. Even when he refers to the children, he just says his kids, or he doesn't even refer to them in a personal way. The whole thing is very, very bizarre, and it's an unnecessary drama that doesn't need to be there. You know, you could just, there's no excitement factor in just being a father, in like going out with your children. Nobody would care enough. Yes, it's lovely, like when we see the Wales children, it's lovely, but we're not kind of obsessed about it. So the reason we are with these children is because of the way they're behaving around them. You can't take royal titles and take the gifts that come with that, but then be like, but we're not going to show them to anyone. We're going to keep them hidden. This is a bizarre way to even treat children. Children, why are they not out and about normal? Like I say, going Christmas shopping, going to get the Christmas tree, because apparently they did that the first time they were out there, right? They shut down a whole tree farm place and went and got the tree with Archie. We didn't see any footage, but apparently that happened, but we've had nothing since. You know, why was there not just even a natural Christmas card? If they're quite happy to put these cards out and showcase the children in a weird way, like they did in the beginning, like there was the fuzzy Christmas card, the one where they, like you say, there was his face and they were edited and it wasn't even them, but they were showcasing the face. Why have we not had any of that? Why were they okay to show, say, even Archie prior to Megxit, a real child, but then since then, nothing? It's all been weird and vague, and nothing makes sense. And most of all, like I've said, when you're dealing with a narcissist, when there's more than one child, you will have one child that is like they obsess over and they put on a pedestal, because that person is a mirror image of them. They have one that they don't, one that they put down, one that they ignore. And I think the ignoring child is the child that's the boy, and the child that's the girl would very much be front and center. It does not track for a narcissist to hide the child away. Now, this will change as the child develops, as the child then becomes older and starts to get attention within their own right. Absolutely. So it might track now with Lily becoming older, but they've kept these children hidden, or they've created this thing from the word go. Since leaving for Megxit. So again, that it just doesn't track. It just doesn't. So this is why I have said that I do not believe in any way that those children are living with them. I have said, and I will stand by and die on that hill, of Archie is over here in the UK with his real mother. And I do not believe there is any daughter that is theirs. And I don't care what photograph we've seen, because the video footage is weird anyway, but the photographs, like I've said, they can be manipulated. I've proven that they have the means, and that's just in the software that I've got, and that's cheap software. So you can imagine what they can do when they've got Miss Anne Harriman in their pocket and taking weird edited photographs. Why have you created a photograph at Frogmore Cottage when they weren't even here? When I spoke to Angela Levin, she categorically said to me, the late Queen has not ever seen Lily. So this whole thing of her wanting a photo, there was a photograph of Lily, it never happened. It never happened. Lily did not come over here. She was not here for her first birthday. There was no girl here. There was no children on the manifest. Why? Because the boy was here already and there is no girl. So that's just my theory. So let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, please, as I always say, please keep it respectful. We can all have different opinions. You do not even have to agree with me, but keep it respectful in the comments. There's no need to be bullying. There is no need to be derogatory. It's just a difference of opinion, and this is how the world goes round. We don't always need to agree with somebody, but we can do it respectfully. So I just want to say, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I know I did, and it was amazing and lovely having Tristan and Abby here from Australia, and it was just such a magical time. Arthur got spoiled, and thank you to everyone who sent me some amazing gifts and cards, and it was just so lovely to feel that love from you all. And it wasn't just about the gifts, because I feel the love from you all in you watching and sharing and commenting on the videos that I do, and I absolutely 100% appreciate you and all of you for the support, no matter how small you give that support, for being here and sticking with me through everything that's happened this year. I hope that 2025 is going to be a better year. I'm hoping that the trolling that I've gone through this year and in previous years is going to come to an end. Sadly, I don't think that's the case, because I woke up yesterday to some emails that apparently it's starting up again. But I can only hope that at some point they do realise that they're very wrong in what they're doing and what they're accusing me of, and they just stop it. But you know, at the end of the day, it's up to other people what they choose to do, and how I deal with that is a reflection on me. And I hope that I've shown all of you that I am dealing with this with grace and kindness, because, well, I just don't see any other way. Yeah, so I think here's to a happy and healthy 2025. I am hoping to go live. I really want to do this before New Year, but things have got very crazy busy here and stuff's been going. And as you know, life happens, and I haven't had the chance to kind of get myself together enough to go live. But I might just jump on by surprise, and whoever's here, even if it's 5 people or 1 person, then I will end up having a chat with 1 person. So yeah, and I'm New Year's Eve, I'm not doing anything, so I might just come on and chat with you all, for those of you who are not going out anywhere and you want to just come and chat with me. So we'll see, but you will know, because I will just suddenly appear and I'll be like, ta-da, I'm live. But yeah, so like I say, thank you so much for all of your support. Honestly, hand on heart, I can't say enough how proud I am of this channel, how proud I am of all of you, and the comments and the way you share, you know, your journey with me in the emails that I get. You know, I read as many as I possibly can. The advent calendar, thank you so much for being a part of that. It was so much fun to do, and I hope that I can do this every year, but we'll see. Yeah, so I think that's it. That's me signing off on the actual videos. Like I say, I might go live, haven't decided yet. This is the last proper video of 2024. So as always, I wish you a very, very happy, healthy 2025. And as always, I will sign off by saying I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. See you next year. Take care. Bye-bye.